here on the Dennis Miller Show. And, well, looky here who it is. It is the best, the greatest, the finest congressman in all of this United States of America. He is from Michigan, and Michigan is the talk of the country this week as we head toward the Michigan primary. He is Congressman Thaddeus McCotter. T-Mac, thanks for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me, Larry.
So let's first talk about Michigan politics really fast for a minute. What polls should we believe? Because I know Michigan pretty well, and I'm surprised at how volatile it is right now. It seems like every 3 polls, we've got Santorum or Romney ahead by 20 points.
Well, I think you should trust the poll on February 28th when the voters decide.
Well, I suppose that's true.
Because in all seriousness, Larry, you're right. And we've talked about this before on either Stage Right or on the Miller Show. It's a very volatile electorate, and rightly so, because they're making a very careful consideration as to who should be the standard bearer of the Republican Party. They're going to make the same very deliberate determination, prudent considerations taken into account in the general election. And what you're seeing is a country at a very difficult transformational time, the citizenry doing its job, its due diligence, and that can lead to the perception of a volatile electorate. I like to prefer to think of it more as a knowledgeable electorate and one that is trying to make sure they make the right decisions.
Well, I know, Representative McCotter, that you have a really, really strong base there in southeastern Michigan and in your district amongst the auto workers, the UAW, and the folks who work on the line. And we're being told that those guys are going to line up for Rick Santorum. He's got that. He's trying to appeal to that blue-collar worker with his roots in western Pennsylvania. Are you getting a sense of that on the ground there in Michigan as well?
No, but I'm getting a sense of, again, I'm a Romney supporter, but look, let's be honest. All 4 of the remaining Republican contenders, Larry, oppose the auto industry's loan to survive.
Yeah.
Oppose the preservation of a manufacturing base in Michigan. So it would be as incongruous for a UAW member to vote against Mr. Romney and for Mr. Santorum on that basis as it would be vice versa. And it's going to be a huge problem for the Republican Party come the general election.
Well, and given that, and because Michigan is an open primary, is there any suggestion that there is some sort of shenanigans going on where people are crossing party lines to sort of throw a monkey in the wrench of the GOP nominating process just to sort of mess things up in Michigan?
There will always be some of that from individuals, but I don't see necessarily an orchestrated attempt by anybody on the Democratic Party side to come in and do it. I think in some ways they're respecting the fact that it's a Republican Party primary, but also I think that it shows that in many ways the Democratic Party is enjoying much of the primary fireworks that are going on, and even the talk of the establishment trying to steal from whoever is ahead, be it Rick, be it Mitt, be it Newt, be it Ron, the nomination and put somebody else in who didn't have the courage to run.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because this was a fantastic article you wrote at biggovernment.com yesterday, and of course it's still on the front page if anybody wants to click to it today. Is there really whispering going on there that the GOP establishment might step in and just sort of commandeer this convention and supersede the wishes of the voters?
Well, you've seen it start to come out. You've seen an anonymous, uncommitted senator talk about it. You've seen other pundits and individuals talk about people being handpicked. And the reason that they can do this is, one, they're elitists, which I fundamentally reject as repugnant to my Republican sensibilities. And secondly, the reason that they do it is because whoever is not running gets to look perfect.
Yeah.
In a primary that is as spirited as this one, there's issue differentiation. Some call them negatives, whatever. The reality is that if you're in the arena, you're going to get bloodied up as you go to try to win it. And I think it's patently unfair to not only the candidates themselves who have the courage to contest for the nomination, but to the voters and supporters who've gotten behind them to have their wishes disregarded by people who somehow think that they can make a better decision out of whole cloth and bring in someone who, again, did not have the fortitude to jump into the fray.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, you had that fortitude, Congressman McCotter, and we appreciated that. And I thought that you brought a lot to the table. Unfortunately, it was short-lived. But, hey, you outlasted Tim Pawlenty, so there's that.
Well, in many ways, Senator Santorum and I were similarly situated when I left the race.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for what he's gone through. I have a lot of respect for what Ron, Newt, and Mitt are going through because of, the time and the preparation that goes into it. And, again, the strain on the family and on yourself. But fundamentally, Larry, the reason that I oppose the elitists trying to orchestrate a GOP convention is this. I'm a Republican. I trust the sovereign American citizens. And as I said in my post on big government, a Republican Party that distrusts its own primary voters is going to be distrusted by general election voters, and rightly so.
You trust the voters? See, now you're just talking crazy talk, Thaddeus McCotter.
Well, I am a voter.
Enough said.
I say that as a voter.
All right. So now, and really fast, I know that you had said that you're backing Mitt Romney, and of course he is a son of Michigan. His father was the governor of Michigan and the CEO of American Motors Company, the folks who brought us the Pacer and the Gremlin. So let's not forget that. Yes. We're hearing from. It's kind of a self-serving comment coming from Newt Gingrich, but he made a lot of headlines yesterday saying that if Romney can't win Michigan, he should just drop out of the race. Where do you stand on that?
I think Governor Romney's always known it's going to be a marathon, just as the other candidates know, and one victory or one defeat in a state, while it can be damaging or it can be very helpful, is not going to win you this nomination. It's a long haul, and rightly so. And speaking of long hauls, Larry, it's not a long haul until February 27th, when my View from the Capitol segment on NewsChannel 8 with Katherine Amenta will air, and we'll be looking at the office of Colin Peterson, representative from Minnesota, who has an unknown instrument we'd like someone like you to be able to name.
A seamless transition, Thaddeus McCotter. Only a trained ear would have heard that beautiful segue. Talk to me about this. Actually, you're really upping your television profile these days. What is it? And which, by the way, gives me hope, because you and I are about on the same scale of attractiveness to the normal American
Well, you got
viewer.
hair. You got me beat.
Well, not for long.
You know, and admittedly, it's a very short line to put me on TV, but they've been kind enough, and Ms. Amenta's been very helpful in understanding and putting up with me, just as you have, Larry. And so once a month, we try to look at things that people might not see or know about how the United States Congress works. We've done things in the past where we talk about the designated survivor, members of Congress that are chosen to deliberately not attend the State of the Union in the event of a horrible tragedy, so the government can continue.
Yeah.
And this week, again, we're going to have an interesting tour of Colin Peterson's lair/office with his unknown instruments and knickknacks that he's picked up throughout his time in Congress. And the one I'm looking forward to in March is going to be one where Ms. Amenta and I are mythbusters to look for demon cats and other purring, pitter-pattering sounds that you might find in the Capitol.
Demon cats. I'm going to jump on Twitter right now and grab that handle, Demon Cat, because that's going to trend.
It'll be your new ska band.
Where can people see this magnificent piece of television history?
You can see it live on NewsChannel 8. It'll be 8:15, February 27th. You can look up old clips or new clips on my Facebook or my YouTube site. And finally, if you want to watch it on the Internet, you can go to the WJLA website, click on NewsChannel 8, and you, too, will be able to see what Colin Peterson's unknown instrument is.
I can't wait. I mean, it sounds a little dirty the way you say it, Congressman McCotter.
Well, actually, it's dirty the way you play it. It's just a very odd instrument. You go up the neck and nothing happens. It's kind of like you in high school.
Oh, my. Oh, it's getting warm now. Congressman McCotter, let's change the subject immediately. Speaking of television, am I wrong? Have I seen you showing up on MSNBC recently? Are you swinging over there these days?
Well, I did one segment, but I don't know. If I was wearing a Beatles tie, that was it.
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw. Is it possible that you could be replacing Pat Buchanan over there at MSNBC?
No, it's probably more possible he'd be replacing me.
I don't think he's going to be representing Livonia anytime soon.
He makes too much money.
Let's get to the important stuff, though, here. We only have a couple of minutes left. How pumped are you for Prince Fielder joining the Detroit Tigers? This is going to be an amazing year, isn't it?
Well, we've gone through this in Detroit. It's when we got Sheffield one year, and we were supposed to be on paper one of the best run-scoring teams. It didn't work out that way. The backbone of the Tigers is going to be pitching. We have to make sure our 3 and 4 starters and whoever the 5th starter is going to be can put in their innings and do the work. And there's some concern about Cabrera at third, which I don't share. He's very committed. He's lost some weight, and he's making his practices, and he's going to be, I think, a good third baseman. So we take it very seriously, but there's also a lot of competition. And in Detroit, we're right now looking forward. Some pitchers and catchers have reported. But, Larry, as you know, we're still got Red Wing fever here, Tiger, and we think we're going to win the Cup this year.
Oh, well, you are. In fact, I didn't check. Is the home winning streak still standing now?
It is standing. It is going, and the Red Wings are the number 1 team in the league, and we hope, barring injuries, knock on wood, that they can continue on this path. It's very It's a very gritty, determined team, much like the city itself.
Yes, I keep getting text messages from my brother in Novi every time they win. So trust me, they are keeping the faith. I want you to know, Congressman McCotter, I am wearing my Detroit Tigers T-shirt right now, but also over it, I am wearing my Angels jersey because I'm pretty excited about Pujols. This is going to be an Angels-Tigers pennant, isn't it?
Well, I got to say, Larry, anytime you wear a T-shirt, I do suggest you wear something over it.
Thank you, Representative Thaddeus McCotter, for joining us today on the Dennis Miller Show. It's always a delight and a pleasure.
Stay buff, Larry.
I'm Larry O'Connor. We'll be right back on the Dennis Miller Show.